Loving the new channel changes. I appreciate it, man. This is one of those things too, man. Well, for everybody here, I don't just like on a whim just decide, oh, when I'm doing this now, zero thought. Oh, I'm just bored of Smash. I'm just gonna do this instead. It's like, no, that's not what happened. It's been weeks of talking back and forth with myself, which is insane because I am. And talking to Zepic and just coming up with different ideas and just thinking about how can I, not necessarily, it's changing the channel, but also salvaging the channel. Because I don't want to be like, okay, so now the channel just does nothing now, and now I'm doing COD on another channel, and this one now just an archive. I still want to use this channel and do everything. I still build on what I've already built. Did I answer myself? So far, yes. I typically always answer myself. And I've talked about this in the past too. Oh, no, will be a little fun thing for you guys because it's fun for me and you guys have no choice. So I want to show you something with regards to my logo. Not a lot of people know about this as to why my logo is what it is. It is what it is. Let me find my logo. I'll put it on screen so we can talk about it. It's huge. That's actually massive.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, this is substantially larger than I thought it would be.
What do you mean by that?
You know, I'm actually surprised that I was actually able to get it to fit.
What do you mean by that?
Anyways, so with regards to the logo, and I constantly reference saying that I had a conversation with myself because I'm insane. Let me just bring it down a little bit. I always have this conversation, or I say to you guys, I have this conversation with myself because I'm just insane. And the way that the logo is designed, there's a reason for everything that it is, as far as the dots and the half circle or whatever you want to call it, the circle with the cutout and shit like that. But basically, for anyone that doesn't know, if you just look at the logo, if you know meta of Smash, okay, you can see that it's an M. You should be able to tell that it's an M, okay? It's obviously a little bit more different or a little bit more modern looking, I guess, but it is an M nonetheless. But the three dots, there's a reason for these three dots, and they each have their own symbolism, I guess you could say. So it's mind, or brain, I guess you could say. Brain, spirit / mind, and then body. Okay, the spirit / mind is on the bottom. Then you can have brain on one side, body on the other. These are the three elements that you need to have in balance to be a functioning, productive person in society, or to, let's say, push forward a passion. Yes, it's basically another Triforce, but it's upside down to be extra edgy. But when I say, for example, I'm having a conversation with myself, the way that I even treat myself as a person, and this is going to sound weird, but whatever, is that I don't think of myself as my brain or my body. I think of myself as my mind or my spirit. So it's not even like a religious thing or not. It's more so that your brain and your body, more often than not, they will do whatever they want to do. And your spirit or your mind will listen to your brain or your body and fall in line. Unless you realize that you're actually in charge of your brain and your body. So, for example, your spirit or your mind, and I'll just say your spirit, I guess. Your spirit will ask questions or will propose things to your brain and your body constantly. And your brain and your body will make decisions based on how they feel. So, for example, you can wake up and say, I want to go to the gym today. That's what your spirit is saying. I want to go to the gym today. Your brain will tell you, but you're too tired. And your body will say, you're too sore. And if you're not in control of your brain and your body, your spirit will fall in line and be like, you're right. So I'm not going to go. So I've learned that with regards to your brain and your body, they're not in charge. The person that's proposing the idea, or yourself, your entity, is what should be in charge. That's what you want to try to get to. You want to get to that point in life so that you're able to make those decisions and have discipline. Exactly. It's willpower and discipline. That's basically what your spirit is. If you're able to hone the power of your spirit or your mind or wherever you want to fall in line with that, that's how you can be tremendously productive. Where for myself, it's like, I want to put out a video tonight. Oh, well, you've been working all day and your eyes are tired and your neck hurts and you can do other things. You should go to bed early tonight. You're sore, whatever. But I say to myself, I don't give a fuck. I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. Get the fuck up. Say it to myself. Then my brain has no choice. My brain can be brain dead and not really in it, but I'm making everything else go because that's what has to be done. And that's just one example. I could give you tons and tons of examples of that, but without rambling on about the idea of it, that's what these three circles represent. So as far as for Smash, or it has to do with Smash, but also has to do with life in general. But for Smash, it's like, if you want to become a better player, you have to do the things that your body or your brain don't want to do. Like looking up frame data, going to the lab, watching yourself lose as far as VOD reviews, doing all these things constantly to actually become a better player. Because although your brain and your body don't like it while it's happening, they appreciate it afterwards. When you go to the gym and you're already tired, or you're already sore, or your mind is, or your brain is just not in it, you still get benefits afterwards, as long as you're not like obviously working out while injured. But if you're sore or you're tired, that's not a reason to not go to the gym. I learned this from football as well. On Tuesdays when we started the week off Tuesdays when we started the week off for football, we would go full pads, and have to do our lap around the park or around the field, do all of our stretching, all that stuff. Then we go straight into hitting drills. Tuesdays was our hardest day every single time, every single week, where it's like, we need to actually we have to obviously try super hard, but we're going to get destroyed by our opponents, by the defense. Or the defense is going to get destroyed by the offense. We're hitting each other full force every single Tuesday for at least 2 hours. And it was tremendously terrible as far as how it felt. But the people that put the work in and did it anyways, those are the people that got to start on the team, or they got to move up in the ranks as far as being like third string quarterback, second string quarterback or running back, whatever, all the way up to be the starter. So you had to put that work in when your brain and your body definitely didn't want to. It's like, oh, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to drive somewhere to get the shit kicked out of me for 2.5 hours and then go home. How badly do you not want to do that? But we had to do that every single week. And it wasn't just Tuesdays. It was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then Fridays was light as far as just shoulder pads. And it didn't really hit. It was just like touch. And then a game on Saturday or a game on Sunday, depending on how the schedule lined up. And that was every single week for weeks. So the only real day that we had off was Monday, and that was sometimes. And even on Mondays when we weren't actually on the field and working out and like doing our like sled drills and doing like Oklahoma or doing 1v1s or Skelly, if we weren't doing any of that stuff on Mondays, we still had to do game film. We still had to we still had to go over our playbooks and memorize new plays and do all this stuff constantly. So the discipline was definitely there. It had to be there for our brain and our body. It's like, yeah, we're dead sore. We have tons of crazy cuts all over our arms and our chest and our face and our neck, everything. Because here's the thing, even if you have pads on, that doesn't fucking matter, bro. You can still get destroyed. You can get cuts all over yourself. Like if you get a helmet in the forearm or a helmet in the thigh, even a helmet in like the side of the neck, any of that shit, yo, pain, bro. Tremendous pain. And I know I say tremendous a lot, but holy smokes. And I didn't do this for one season. I didn't do this for 5 years. I did it for 13 years. And at some points during those 13 years, I was actually on 2 different teams. So I go from one practice, finish practice, go to another practice. Like when I was in grade 12, so 17 to 18, I had my high school practice. And then right after high school practice, right into like rep play. So not like semi-pro. It was like under college, but like still very, very competitive. We traveled. We were like a traveling team. We had to do that. And that was for weeks as well. It was literally nonstop. And with regards to that, it's like that built men. It really did. It built discipline to say, you're allowed to quit if you want to. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this at all. People aren't going to call you a bitch. People are not going to be even upset that you left. It's just like, if you don't want to do this because you can't do this, then you can leave, because we're trying to have the best of the best out here. And I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't even ask that of themselves, let alone ask that of anybody else. Being the best of the best or the best you could possibly be. But with regards to going back to the logo, the reason why, like I said, these 3 circles or these 3 components are what they are, as far as brain or mind, body, spirit, is because of that exact thing. You have to have that balance, because also another thing too, I didn't even point this out, spirit is on the bottom because it holds up the rest of your life. Whatever questions that you propose to yourself or any propositions that you propose to yourself of any kind, your brain and your body will always have to go along, or they don't always have to go along with it, but they're always going to be balanced, literally. So that's why it's on the bottom. It holds the other 2 parts of your life up. And because of that, I guess, centering of your life, the other 2 parts benefit heavily. I don't want to study. I'm too tired. All these things. Your brain will say that all the time. But if you say, I have to study, or I want to study to have a more fulfilling future, or go to college, or go to school, or get into this, I don't know, get into a certain college or whatever it might be, you get certain grades, your brain will fall in line, and then you'll be happy because you actually succeed in what you're trying to do. Same thing with getting in shape. I don't want to go to the gym because I'm too tired, or I'm too sore, or whatever. I could just take a break. I don't have to do this. It's like, well, you're competing, or you're getting ready for competition prep for, like, let's say if you're going to be like bodybuilding, if you're doing like CrossFit or anything, if you're playing a sport. So the reason why you do any of these things at all is for the benefit. No one really likes to feel pain. Most people don't like it. Some people do, and they're a little bit nutty, and that's okay. But most people don't do any of this shit because they enjoy pain. They do it because they recognize that there's going to be a benefit. Studying and having your brain hurt, or if you've ever tried to do coding before and you're just not understanding why coding is not working, trying to set up a website, for example, or program literally anything, and it just feels like a nightmare because you just don't know how to do what you're doing. There's growing pains that you have to go through so that you're able to figure out what you're trying to do, and then the satisfaction or the feel of triumph at the end of it is all worth it. That's why you do it. And if you're someone who's kind of on the fence and saying, you know what, fuck this, like this, I kind of want this, but I don't want it as badly as I want to just feel good right now, so I'm not going to do this. If that ends up being you, and then you turn around and you say, well, my life sucks, or I'm not nearly as far along in life as I'd like to be, or I'm not succeeding in the way I'd like. I don't have the body that I want. I don't have the relationship that I want. It's a lot of things that I'm just missing in life. I feel like I have a void in my heart or my soul or my life. Why is that? It's like because you gave into your brain and your body. That's basically all that happened. You gave in and they said, yeah, laying around's way easier. Not eating healthy is way easier. Not cooking for yourself is way easier. Not studying is way easier. And with regards to Smash, not labbing is way easier. Not memorizing frame data is way easier. Not watching top level play or watching your own play as far as VODs is way easier. So as soon as you take away that top position or the spirit from the bottom, the other two fall to the wayside, and that's it. And then as far as the M around the outside, everything is a symbol, because like I said, I'm mad deep, bro. Everything is a symbol. So with the M around the outside, that is arms carrying like this. It's arms, which is also a symbol of your composure, to say keep it together while you're trying to do these things. Of course, the core of your life is going to be very, very difficult, extremely difficult to try and maneuver through and do all these things as well as you possibly can without breaking. And the M or the outside, the arms, is just a reminder to say, of course it's going to be hard, but you want to try and stay composed. Not even to like keep other people calm or anything like that, but to keep yourself in the pocket. So when it's time to execute, you're not in shambles, if that makes sense, or you're not frantic. Of course, being scared is part of growth, or even being an entrepreneur. I will say, for example, the video that came out today when I was talking about the Smash scene, so when this comes out, it's gonna be a lot longer now, or a lot later now, but when that video came out, or when I was waiting for that video to come out, I was very mixed on myself to be like, is my audience gonna be like very much so against me for talking so much shit, if that makes sense? Are they gonna be so against me for saying all the things that I've said, as far as it being not necessarily negative, but very truthful? Because here's the thing, like I said, a lot of the Smash community don't like the truth. They don't like to be told certain things about themselves, because if you ever have to look at yourself and be like, yeah, I kind of suck, or yeah, I'm kind of a shitty person, or yeah, I'm kind of toxic, or whatever, people don't like to have that brought to the forefront of their attention. But I will say, if you're someone who's trying to be independent or successful or competent as a man or woman, or just human being in general, you need that punch in the face sometimes. And for myself, I've learned that to a very high degree, that the only reason why I've even gotten anywhere in life realistically is because I have been metaphorically punched in the face for years. Which sounds insane to say, but it's the truth, because like without that, that's how you live in a world of delusion, or you live in a world of being tremendously oblivious, and it can only hurt you. Honestly, if you live in a world of delusion or being oblivious, then it can really only hurt you. And so this symbol, or the logo for Meta Smash, that's my reminder for myself. And maybe you guys didn't know that, maybe you guys, well, obviously you know that now, but that's why it is what it is. That's why there's those three circles, that's why there's two sides, that's why it splits. It's supposed to be like hands at the bottom as well, holding something up, holding your consciousness up, holding your integrity in place, holding your, I guess, your very being. I don't really know how else to say it, but I'm sure I'll think of other words later. But that's essentially the idea behind the logo. And yeah, guys, I feel like if anyone has gone through life and you feel like you have not had those moments, I guess, like, even to carry on with regards to sports, if you've not had those moments where it's like, this is really fucking hard, but it was worth it, then I feel like a lot of people are missing out in life. It might not even just be sports. It might be academics. It might be just anything where it's like there's potential for extreme pressure here. There's potential for extreme failure here, or maybe even embarrassment here. If you've never had that feeling, or even if you've never even been in the position to think that that's a thing, then I couldn't possibly, I don't want to say respect you as a human being, but I couldn't possibly think that you could relate to someone who has been in that position. I feel like you're missing a gigantic part of your life if you've never ever felt that. And in today's society, a lot of people have been conditioned to believe that you don't, or you shouldn't go through that stuff. It's too scary. Like, even the idea of trying to get the job that you want, or apply for the school that you want, or starting a business on your own, or starting a family, or trying to get a relationship, all these things are considered scary. And your brain, obviously, like, here's the thing, your brain always says, yo, don't do this. It's a defense mechanism. It's built like that to protect you. And you can go all the way back to the days of cavemen, where it's like, yo, don't leave your cave, or don't leave where home is, because there's danger out there. There are bears or tigers or whatever there is that could kill you. So it's safer to stay in your comfort zone versus go out and venture and potentially build, or discover things about yourself or things about your surroundings. It goes all the way back. Like, it's actually insane. Nowadays, we don't have, hopefully you don't have this, we don't have tigers just kind of walking down Main street. Nowadays, what it is, like I said, just going after things that you want in life, talking to the girl at the gym, or trying to get this particular job, or like I said, starting a new career, starting a new job, becoming an entrepreneur, trying to become an artist, even starting a Facebook page or an Instagram page or account or TikTok, or like, let's say going from regular person to content creator. I even remember for myself, when I first started doing content creation, I did it in my car because I didn't want anyone to hear me, and I didn't want anyone to really see me. So I'd drive in my car and either go up to the top of the hill, like where I live, or I'd just drive around and I would just talk to the camera. And I wouldn't even really look at the camera because I was scared. And that's kind of how I got my start with content creation. If you're someone who's only known me as this, then that sounds hilarious to think that I could be so shy, or I could be so timid or so scared, or like not know how to talk. Then that's just the humble beginnings. It's 100% the truth. If I can, I might even have a clip of me from years ago at this point. I might have a clip of me that I can actually like put into this when it becomes a video of those days, like way back in the day. And even with those types of, I guess, videos, they weren't good or bad. They were just existing. It was just for the sake of practice. I didn't really put them out ever. They just existed. And it was just so I could learn how to talk to a camera, have a conversation, all this stuff. And the reason why I did it is because I wanted to be better. I wanted to be better at being a conversationalist. I wanted to have more confidence, and I didn't really know how to do it. So I just decided that that's how I was going to do it. Eventually, I moved towards trying to do content creation in front of cameras, standing up in my room or sitting kind of like this. But even then, it was outrageously nerve-wracking. Like, here's the thing too, a lot of you guys don't know this. Before I was Tricks from Meta of Smash, I was just a content creator who did YouTube, and every single video I ever put out had a script. All of them. And I probably put out like 40 or 50 videos. They all had a script, and I just would read the script, memorize a bit of it, turn to the camera, say it, and I'd fuck it up like 40 times. It was horrible. Do it over and over and over again. And it was so rough. Like a 5-minute video would take me like an hour and a half just to say it, because I felt like my delivery was bad, or I would stutter, or I'd forget the word that I was trying to remember, or the sentence I was trying to remember, or whatever it might be. But I think something was like not that funny, or I'd go rewrite it and whatever, because like my delivery and everything was just trash. It just was trash. And like I said, even then, super rough. Super rough trying to keep eye contact in something like that as well too. And my eye contact, like I'm literally, like at the time, I was looking at nobody. And for these videos, I also didn't put them out like ever. Once again, it was practice. It's like, I think one of the parts that made it so weird there too is that I knew I was talking to no one. And if I never ever want to put this stuff out, then it would never be seen and no one would ever know. And the work that I had done was just for myself. And maybe it helped, or maybe it was like, yo, stop being weird. Maybe it was that, right? But that's I guess that's the beginnings for me. So I'm not really even sure what the point of bringing this particular part of things up was, but I guess actually no, it had to do with being in the spot, or had to do with being in the position of being under pressure, or putting yourself under pressure on purpose. Like they say, pressure makes diamonds as well. As far as for yourself, if you're someone who maybe has never done sports, or never has been on stage, whether it's public speaking or dancing or singing, or you're in a band or whatever it is, if you've never done any of those things, like I said, never played sports, never really put your neck out there ever to be judged, then I feel for you. I don't say that like in a way that's like, it's embarrassing that you're scared, because like I said, I was that person as well. It's more so that I think everyone should do it. If there's anything that I ever learned in middle school, actually, my middle school homeroom teacher said to us, whether you believe it or not, one of the best ways to make a living in the world, is to be a public speaker. And he didn't mean like keynote speaker. He meant like talking to a room of like 30 people. It doesn't matter what you do, just having the confidence or the ability to do that. Even if you have to like read off of a script, like when you're back in the day in like 7th grade and you're doing your 5-minute speech and you're like, holy fuck, I'm talking about sedimentary rock and I can't, like, what is going on? If you're doing some shit like that, it's like you had to build up so that eventually, well, you should be able to build up, or you should want to build up so you can do stuff like that. Because even confidence to have a conversation like this for as long as I have without really straying at all, as far as like just not talking about anything or just like being dead silent or trying to figure out my words, being able to do something like this, it transfers into confidence in everything. Like if you're articulate, it transfers basically everything. Being articulate or being confident in your speech comes from confidence in other things as well. All right, Neil, talk about sedimentary rock any day. Yeah, see this guy, he's a legend. All right, you don't want to mess with him. He knows his stuff. Oh man. CyberArk, the kind of content that I did before, it was kind of like this. Like I would just kind of talk. Some of it was like funny or like skits or stuff like that, but it was mostly just talking. I like to talk a lot about, like I said, psychology and stuff. I talked about a lot of this stuff the other day as well. Whether it was dating advice, facial expressions, iridology, all kinds of different stuff from back in the day that was just interesting to me. And it's like, I can try and talk about this stuff because I don't even know what to talk about. I just want to be able to talk about something, right? So for me, it was like, well, I could have talked about football because that was like the biggest thing in my life at one point. All I cared about was football and training and working out and watching it and playing like Madden and stuff like that. That was literally my life for a very long time. But I figured like the average person doesn't always want to talk about that, or doesn't want to talk about that at all. They want to talk about real life. Like even for you guys, I could be sitting here just like, maybe not anymore, doing like a sports type of podcast, but it's like, no, bro. Not that no one cares, but most people don't. I would rather talk about everything else that we've been talking about. This is one of the reasons why I would say being an influencer in general is so coveted by people, is because not everyone can do it. Not everyone has the, I guess, courage or the charisma or the confidence to get up in front of people, whether or not it's a conversation or some sort of discourse like this. Even just the idea of saying, I'm going to put out like 15-second videos on TikTok, but I'm scared because I don't want someone to say that I'm not funny or I'm ugly or your beard is weird, something like that. If you don't have, I guess, yeah, a lot of people just don't have the confidence to get into that mindset to say, I don't care. I don't care about any of those things. If every single person cared as deeply as the masses do, famous people wouldn't even exist. The reason why anyone has become some sort of influencer or somewhat famous or somewhat idolized in some ways because they took a leap of faith and went against all odds. Of course, there's such a thing as having tremendous skill and having people look at that and be like, okay, this is talent and I like that talent. But even that could still be shut down pretty hard. Imagine trying to be a singer or a rapper or whatever. People are like, yo, you suck at rapping, or your singing voice is trash, or you're tone deaf, or whatever it might be. That can crush someone so easily. But the people that don't get crushed and people that say, well, thankfully for you, I don't need you to think that I'm good. There's tons of other people out there that can think I'm good. And even to this day, if you really look at the masses of even like, let's say pop culture, and we'll say musicians, for example, there's still people to this day that get shit on every day. Justin Bieber, for example. There's still people that say, this guy sucks. I hate his hair. I hate his face. Why does he do girly music? All this shit. Then there's people that say the same thing about metal, same thing about rap or country or anything at all. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you know that you can just be, like I said, in the pocket or laser focused with whatever you're trying to pull off, it doesn't really matter what people think. So even right now, like with this transition for the channel, it's like I've been steadily losing subs every single day. And I know that's just a byproduct of change. That's just what it is. You cannot make everyone happy. So instead, you should try and make yourself happy. And if that makes other people happy for you, then you're making the right choice. That's realistically what it boils down to. If someone doesn't agree with what you're doing, as long as what you're doing is legal, obviously, or like something that is like a good thing for yourself, then that should be the only thing that matters to you. There'll be haters, but they don't matter. I think one of the things I saw something a long time ago that had to do with, it's kind of like a little gaming analogy where it's like, if you're constantly running into enemies, that means you're going the right way, which is pretty crazy. Because I think of like Sonic from back in the day playing like Sega, or even like Mario, Super Mario World, Super Nintendo, whatever, N64. If you're running into enemies, that means you're going the right way. That's it. You can't put it any more clear cut than that. Like in those games, if you look way back, like SNES or whatever games like that way back, if you go to the right, that's where danger is. That's how you complete the game, right? I know on screen I'm going the wrong way for you guys, but going to the right, then that's how you complete the game. If you go to the left, something that's really crazy, if you go to the left, two things. No enemies, number one. There's also a wall. There's a wall on the left side, which is insane. Where it's like, and I know it's not really meant to be a metaphor like that, but it's like, if you go into the direction of safety and comfort and inside your comfort zone where there's no bad people or haters or anything like that, you can't even progress in that direction. That is just staying stagnant forever, because all you did is you got to the wall, then that is that. But if you go the other way, then there's a chance, very high chance, any sort of growth or any sort of ability to go outside of your comfort zone is going to turn into running into enemies, facing some sort of adversity, potential heartbreak or loss or failure or frustration. But why do we even do those things? It's like, well, if we go the way where all those things are, it's how you also reach higher highs or get to certain milestones in life, and you also get achievements as well. Or in games, it'd be completing the game. And why do we do those things? 'Cause it's for a sense of fulfillment as well. So yeah, guys, it all comes back to gaming always. It literally always comes back to gaming at this point, where yeah, you can go all the way back to SNES. It's like, these are the life lessons that I've lived by without even trying. It just is, it's actually insane. Like I said, with regards to losing subs, for me, it doesn't matter really, because my channel is, I'm gonna straight up just say the truth, my channel is tremendously, and I know I say tremendous as like my go-to, I'll say it's phenomenally or irreprehensibly, which is probably the wrong thing to say, but whatever, I'm just crazy. It's super down bad. Let's just put it like that. The fact that I have 40,000 plus subs and the average video gets under 1,000 views, I don't have 40,000 subs. I have like 2,000. That's the truth. So if I lose all of my subs, but the real ones stay, and I can build off of something like this instead, or as well as, because here's the thing, I'm not stopping Smash, I'm just doing this as well. I don't think a lot of people really realize that. I'm not saying I'm turning my back on Smash and never playing it again, and I'm not coaching anymore. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I'm doing this as well. And if for whatever reason everyone leaves, to me, they were never there. If I lose every single sub I have except for like 1,000 subs, that means that they were never there. And the reason why it's actually even more hurtful, so it's like, for me, is the fact that I had 40,000 subs. I had 40,000 people see my videos and choose not to watch them when they were Smash. And now that they're not Smash, you're going out of your way to leave because it's not Smash, but you weren't watching it anyways. So what are we doing here? Right? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to hang on to something like that. If you are, and here's the thing, you don't have to watch, you can do whatever you want. That's the fantastic world we live in as far as being free to do whatever you want. Why am I breaking my back or staying in the Smash scene and doing all this stuff that I feel like is for the channel or for you? If you're going to look at it, see the thumbnail, see all the hard work, see all the coaching, all the stuff, and then be like, no, I don't want to watch this. Then you see a change of topic from a channel you weren't watching and then leave anyways. So you've been here the whole time, just hovering basically, and then waiting for a reason to just leave. For me, you've already left, if that's what happened, right? And like I said, going back to the idea of being, I guess, confident in myself and my decisions, what I've decided to do. If you leave, you leave. I can say this though as well. On my last couple of videos, and if you guys have not gone and taken a look at the videos themselves are great. That's all good and well. But look at the comments and look at the names of the comments. There are people commenting on my stuff who've been part of the Smash scene or been part of my channel for as long as I've been doing content, and they may have never ever commented ever, and now they finally feel like they can engage with me. They finally feel like they can come out and say something, and it's all very, very positive. I've had some amazing response from doing this type of content instead. It's not been a bunch of little Timmies being like, yo, why are you doing this? I hate this. I want the old meta Smash back. I want Nail the Trick. I want it. What's going on here? Most, if not every single person, basically every single person has been very, very positively receptive of this. Tons. And then the people that don't comment or the people that unsub, and kind of is what it is, right? If I get to a point where I'm doing this, and I know we're not really talking like numbers and shit here, but just really quickly, if I do something like this and all I'm doing is talking to you guys, and I get to a point where the channel starts to actually come back to life, then this was worth. It was 100% worth. Because right now, like I said, my 40,000 sub channel is not performing like a 40,000 sub channel, and I don't blame the viewers. I don't blame the viewers at all. I blame the fact that I'm talking about a topic that no one cares about. That's just what it is. Or very few people care about. That's one of those things. It's just a pivot in content. It's my spirit making a decision for my brain and my body, or my brain especially is saying, you really want to throw away all the things you worked for? What if all your subs leave? What if you have to start all over again? Is it really worth doing? What if you just, instead of doing this, instead of Smash, why don't you just do less? And then just do like don't do this. It's like, well, if I do that, then I'm basically giving in and saying that I'm scared of change. I'm scared of making my own decisions. I'm scared of potentially branching out to something that could be potentially better, right? Going past the enemies to complete my mission. And in this case would be to revitalize the channel. That's how I've lived my life all this time. Like, that's why this is here. It's regardless of what happens, just keeping composure, making a decision, staying disciplined, and then following through. That's it. There's not much else to it. So like I said, if you're along for the ride, then you're along for the ride, and I'm very happy that that's the case. But if someone's like, no, I gotta go, like I don't want to watch this anymore, then you don't want to watch this anymore. Thankfully for me, there's billions of people that watch YouTube, right? And at the end of the day, I do have to continue to branch out, right, and grow more. Like, I've been wanting to be a content creator for honestly, I've wanted to do content creation on a like global scale or like a extremely, I was gonna say tremendously again, like an extremely large scale for almost 10 years. And I'm not gonna let the Smash scene and the allegations and the pandemic and all this other horse shit take that away from me when I myself have developed past those things trying to hold me down. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I want to do, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as well.